Welcome to the Space in Between podcast, a series where we will talk about everything and anything mental performance in a bite-sized fashion.
Sienna and Frida here. We are both certified mental performance consultants from Ireland and Sweden. And on this podcast, we share our knowledge and passion for all things sport and performance psychology. This includes all things mindset, exercise, sport, everyday life, and insights into how we help ourselves and others with developing our mindset.
Let's go. Back with another one.
What are we talking about today, Frida?
The topic of today's podcast is when you rest.
Interesting. And why is this today's topic?
Because of the season. We're in holiday mode, most of us, I'd say. We just realized that Christmas is next week.
I know.
And
Crazy.
we were like, what?
We're in Spain, so it just doesn't feel like Christmas when it's sunny.
Yeah, that's true. When you're walking around in a t-shirt, it does not feel like it's Christmas. Christmas is coming up, and for many, that can be a hectic period for many different reasons. So we don't know who needs to hear this, but it's important to remember that rest does not mean we're quitting or being lazy.
That can be a common thought, especially when it comes to athletes or, people working towards specific health fitness goals. Taking time off or maybe doing a little less over a holiday period can feel like I'm taking a step backwards.
Yeah. What we're going to talk about, it applies to anybody, whether it's an athlete or someone that is, passionate about their work or whatever it is. Even if our perspective now will be athlete focused, it goes for everybody.
Yeah. And one of the main things that we want to encourage you to think about is that rest can actually help. It can help you achieve your goals. It can help improve your performance. And having that mindset can make it easier to rest when we are resting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that's really important is that we talk about the time of the year. Like, why would we talk about this around the holidays? And the reason why is because usually our daily routine will shift a little bit, whether that is for a few days or maybe 2 weeks, a week, whatever. So our training schedule might look different because of what's going on. And then also, we might be travel, there might be more social events with work, with friends and family. Like there's usually around Christmas and the holidays, there's just much more happening. Some, not for everybody, but for some.
It can really be an automatic, it makes sense around this period to maybe have a less training or less of an intense focus on your goals. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing, is what we're trying to disclose here today.
Yeah, exactly. And I think personally for me, when I was an athlete, still an athlete, just a different type of athlete today, sometimes around the Christmas period or even just taking time off in general, I felt like I am falling behind. I am, losing my fitness. I am losing my momentum. I'm not disciplined. And all of these things, right? So we might have those thoughts where that relates to sport or other health and fitness goals or maybe work.
Yeah. That's a funny thing because when you think about actually, an athlete and making progress, rest is a necessity.
Yeah.
You have to take rest to get fitter. You have to take rest to recover from a tough performance. But then when it comes to these kind of longer rest weeks, if you will, it can feel like I shouldn't be doing this. But actually, if we have that mindset, rest is as important as going hard, and the idea that I can be dedicated to my sport and performance and take days off. And I can be committed and also enjoy time with my family and friends. Or for someone who's not focusing on sport, it might be I care about my health, and at this time I want to enjoy some of my favorite things that I don't enjoy most of the rest of the year.
Yeah, and what all of those thoughts there have in common that you just mentioned is we're challenging that all or nothing thinking. It doesn't have to be I'm dedicated, so I can't take days off, or I'm healthy, so that means I can't enjoy some of the Christmas food or New Year's food, whatever it is, or the social events that we're going to.
And if you think about it in terms of longevity and being able to keep pursuing your goals, we need rest. Otherwise we do get to a point where we're I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
Or this is too much. So around this time can be a great time to say, okay, this is a great opportunity to maybe not like completely stop caring about everything you're doing, but just focus on other things as well.
Mm.
Or maybe just, for example, I might do my training, but then enjoy more nice food than usual, you know? So we're not saying, throw all caution to the wind. You can do whatever you want. But we can actually use this as a time to, you know, then go into the new year and feel refreshed.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know, something that's important with all of this, one of the reasons why we're even talking about this is because of the time of the year, but also it has naturally become a conversation with a lot of the people that we work with. So for some, they don't care. They don't think about the holidays as, oh, I have to do something different or extra or think about this. For others, they want to go into the holidays with a plan, depending on the context of their situation and what they're focusing on. And I think personally, for myself as well, you know, going in with a plan can be helpful if we have specific goals, because then that allows us to, as with anything, prepare for what's to come, especially if, let's say, we have some specific health and fitness goals and maybe we feel like, I don't know, the holidays is rocking that boat a little bit and maybe that's anxiety provoking.
Yeah. So if we talk about that, and we've talked about, like, you and me, I mean, that there's no right way.
Yeah.
We're not saying if you're an athlete committed to your goals, you should just like do all the work. And we're also not saying like, don't do anything. It's the holidays. You know, there can be many different approaches. So Frida, a question for you is, what is your approach to training and all of this? Exactly what we're talking about over the holiday period.
I think that this is definitely something that's taken a little time to come to terms with for myself, with my background. But now that I am mature, no, but it can still be challenging. I love being active. So I want to be active over this time.
Yeah.
It might not look the same as it would, you know, in November or whatever, which is fine. But I will make it a priority to move my body. And then I will also make it a priority to enjoy my favorite foods and enjoy time with my friends and family and everything that entails. And I have come to I'm now at the point of my life where I'm okay with that. I don't have to be extra restrictive or do extra more working out or anything like that. I feel like I have a much healthier relationship with rest, exercise, and, you know, enjoying the time when I want to enjoy the time. And I think this also goes back to kind of having these conversations and thinking about it. If that's something you want to think about when we go in with a plan and we're flexible. So think about it like a dial that we can turn up and down. So it's not all or nothing. That also gives us freedom. And I think that's important. And then also practicing self-compassion in all of this, right? Because it can be challenging. And I think about myself and, you know, there's times where I've felt guilty because of what I have done, maybe during a certain period of time, whether that is based on truth or not. You know, I just feel like I'm not doing what I usually would, or et cetera, et cetera. So now I just feel bad that I've made these choices, basically. So my point there is, I think that I have come to terms with when I rest, I rest. So when I enjoy these occasions, I enjoy these occasions. And we have talked about this too, that, you know, all the progress that you have made over the past 50 weeks, it's not erased these last 2 weeks of the year. That's not how progress works. Even if we might feel like that, right? But that's not the reality. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer. But long story short, I feel like I have a healthy relationship with that right now. And I enjoy things when I want to enjoy things. And I think that's important to allow yourself that space. What about yourself?
I think like overall it's similar. Like I enjoy training. It's like a part of every week now. Like whether that's away on a sun holiday, like I want to train. And also this year, especially, I think it's important for people to see like context for themselves and then decide what path forward they want. So like in terms of athletic performance, I have a tournament, you know, the 4th and 5th of January. Then I have another tournament the weekend after that. Then I have another tournament 2 weeks after that. And then it's like championship 2 weeks after that. It's pretty quick afterwards that we're getting into the season. So for me, I am going to train hard over let's say we were to say I feel like Christmas this year is basically 2 weeks because Christmas falls on like a Wednesday or Thursday, depending on your country. And then New Year's falls on like the Wednesday or Thursday as well. I can't remember right now. So it's basically turns into 2 weeks. So I'm definitely like going to train a lot over those 2 weeks to be prepared. But at the same time, I feel like in a way I am resting because I'm going to be doing a lot less work. And for me, when I think about training a lot over those 2 weeks, I like to train in the morning. I get up, I train, then I have the rest of the day, so I can rest. I can enjoy time with family or friends who are home from wherever. So, and to me, that feels like how I want to spend those days and weeks, and I'll feel good about that. And I definitely used to have a very all or nothing mindset when I was younger. I started the day with muffin, so I might as well just eat everything I see today and then at the end of the day feel terrible about it. Whereas now I can eat well and enjoy some of the foods that I want to enjoy and then move on with my life. And that took some getting or learning to get to. So yeah, I mean, Christmas is going to be head down with training, but head down with resting when I'm not training as well.
Yeah, and it's important to have that flexibility. And that also doesn't come out of nowhere. That, like you said, that's a process, the same way it's been a process for me to come to terms with these things. And for some of you listening, you might be like, I don't even think about these things,
Maybe you're better off.
Maybe you're better off. But for many, it can be a challenging period. And I also think going away a little bit from, what we have talked about right now, on the flip side, for some people, Christmas can also be, or the holidays can be really stressful because there's a lot happening with, maybe a family event, or, we're organizing things, or, we're hosting things. Maybe all the kids are back and
that's obviously a completely different story. For some people, it's harder for them to train over Christmas because their kids are off school and whereas for me, I'm like 2 weeks off work. Great.
Yeah, exactly. So that's once again why context is so important with this. So my point with that was for the people that might be like, oh, Christmas is so stressful. Nothing is the way that I want it to be, or my routine is so out of whack because of everything that's going on, trying to find those moments where we can rest.
Yeah.
And to remember to keep taking care of ourselves. And obviously that can look different for everybody. So the same way we can plan for how we're going to be active because our routine is out of whack, that goes for people that might be stressful because of everything that's going on in that sense too. Not that it doesn't have to be working out. We're just using that because, that's what we talk about. But finding those pockets for yourself that can bring you some type of peace if it is a very stressful period because of everything that's going on.
Yeah, and that is why it's important as well to realize that this time might not be the time that you see amazing progress towards your goals. We have to handle the reality of our situation, not wish it was something else. So for some people, Christmas or going away on vacation with their family is not the time that they're going to work out more than ever. It's the time that they're not going to. And that's okay. In 52 weeks, we can make so much progress without doing anything towards our goals for a month or even more. Regardless of this week, I can have made great progress or I'll make great progress afterwards.
So I think something that is important to kind of wrap it up a little bit is that resting and doing things differently, it's not stepping away from your goals that you might have or that you want to achieve. I would say we're teeing them up. Okay. So we take this time, we take a rest if that's it, and then that might renew that motivation and drive. And stepping away sometimes can also help with the training quality. We all get tired of doing things as well. So maybe it's good to take a step back to then go back at it in 2026.
Yeah. And after listening to this podcast, taking time to think about how do I want to spend my time? What do I want my week to look like? And deciding, do I want to include training? Do I want to think about my nutrition? Because going in with a plan can be helpful. But maybe you're someone who's like, no, I'm good. And that's okay as well.
That's great.
And next week we are releasing a different type of podcast episode.
Yeah.
To help you rest if needed. We're going to share with you a loving kindness exercise that you'll be able to listen to our lovely voices.
Sienna's lovely voice, right?
And the idea is that it allows us to go inward and to, take a few moments to ourselves.
Highly recommended for anybody, even more for any of you that might feel like, oh yeah, this is a really stressful time for me. So the loving kindness trip will be 10 minutes-ish. I can't remember off the top of my head now. 10 minutes-ish. So finding that pocket of time to relax and, like you said, go inwards. So remember, rest when you rest, and rest does not erase your hard work. Okay? And keep using the space in between to rest. See you next week.
Whoop.